Welcome to the More Heroes podcast. My name's Tom. I'll be your host every week, hopefully. It's the plan. Coming to you live today from freezing cold basement that I do not have set up correctly yet, especially for video, which is not included, clearly. I plan on having it here shortly, but this podcast is just kind of me talking about the Overwatch League, you know, the usual Overwatch League type deal. A little bit of the same, a little different. I'm a little less structured. I'm going to try to be structured, especially with my guests. I already have one locked down. Very excited about. I won't spoil anything yet. I will, of course, leak it, if that's what you want to call it, on Twitter. And I'll plug that in the beginning here so I don't have to do it later. And maybe I'll still do it later. Who knows? Depends on how I'm feeling. So my Twitter is at MoreHeroesOW. Feel free to drop a follow if you want. Got plenty of all correct, 100% correct, all the time hot takes. So if you want to follow that, it's a good place to get all the answers here, especially if you're betting on games. But anyway, also subscribe on YouTube if you'd like. Most everything will most certainly be demonetized at some point in time. But I don't really even have that enabled anyway. Don't know how to figure it out. I'm not doing it yet. Maybe later. Who knows? I also will be doing these on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Coming soon. Not sure on the timeline yet. I know I plan on getting it done before next episode, or definitely before the episode where I have my guest on. So we'll definitely have that stuff all sorted out. Like I said, video still in the works. Not really planning on it that soon. But hopefully at some point we'll get that figured out. But anyway, I guess why my opinion should matter is important, and maybe I should talk about that. And it's not so much that it matters, it's so much that it's entertaining. But currently, I guess a little bit more about me is I'm ranked 3,000 in Overwatch, 3,006 if we're being specific. So pretty low, nasty. I know I'm diamond, but it's obviously just because my teammates, and they don't know what they're doing, and they throw all my games. But all joking aside, I have had some semi-pro experience, I guess. And no, not a player, obviously. I was a manager for a team called Locker Dogs. They were tier 2, I guess you could call it that. Back in the day, it's tier 3 now. What tier 3 is because of Contenders, but it was back before Owl and Contenders were even announced or anything. But that was about a year ago. The head coach of that team was IO Stuck, so you might have heard of it. Who knows? Probably not. It's been a while. Games changed quite a bit. So I managed them for a while. We got signed by like Panda Gaming or some garbage tier org. Holy shit, we signed for maybe $0.50 or something. Who knows? It was terrible. Worst contract ever. I can trash them because they're out of business. They disbanded that org a little while ago. So it was a little rough, but that's all right. I mean, we learned a lot from that. Don't sign contracts, people, that don't give you any benefits and that wouldn't legally hold up. So anyway, I learned a lot from the coach, obviously. Wanted to take some of that knowledge into a long form media. So I like podcasts, so I thought I'd maybe do one that's a little bit more casual, less structured, and just have fun with it. Get to know people a little bit better on a different level, not like a super professional interview style. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to do preseason power rankings. So I've kind of got some stuff written down for that just because I've been thinking about it, see other people's power rankings and stuff. They're somewhat similar, I would say, to others, but it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, it should be a little different. I've got some crazy ass shit in here. But so my first, I guess I should preface this by saying I did order my list, and I shouldn't have done that because that's where you're gonna get the most shit thrown at you when on Twitter and stuff because most people tiered their list, so like high tier, mid tier, low mid, low or whatever. But I just put it in order. So think of it as a tier kind of thing, like 1 through 8 or whatever, and 9 through 15, or I don't know. It's kind of weird how I ordered it, but I've got reasons. So let me read them to you. So the first one is the New York Excelsior. Surprise, surprise. Some of you might have put London, but I have them at number 2. And the reason I have NYXL on top is just their coaching staff. Their players are just nasty. Jonak's just somebody that hard carries games. I'm a big fan of him. They've got their 2 new pickups. I think just 2. Nene and Flower. Flower, I think, is going to come into his own. You don't just lose that nasty skill that you had. I think he's a smart player. I think maybe he's over his injuries now, hopefully. And he can come out, and I think he'll have a great showing this year. But we'll kind of see. And like I said, second team, I have London Spitfire. They're kind of interchangeable, but the only thing that worries me, and this is probably stupid, and you're going to probably turn me off for saying this, but I think what worries me is stage 2 and 3 last year, or they won stage 1 and then fell off. And obviously they still won the whole thing, so you got to give them the spot. That's why I kind of tied them, but and I know NYXL choked it, but they're clearly, I think, were the best team. They had the best record. I think the best team has the best record. I know the finals are big, but it's like any given Sunday type deal, possibly, especially with those 2 teams. But I think the Spitfire, if they're on, they're going to be hard to beat. Not easy for sure. Can't wait to see NYXL and them face off because they're in the same division, which is crazy. I think Atlantic. So that will be very fun to watch. And I think if they're on, they're going to be crazy. They've got just such strong players. Can't wait to see it. Number 3 I have on the list, which I think, I don't want to say it's high because they're such a good team, but I don't want to say it's right either, I guess I should say so. But I've got Fusion as number 3 on my list. I think they're very flexible. Carpe's obviously a god. EQO's a god. Fraggy, Sato. I think Sato worries me a little bit. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but I'm not sold on him as like even top 5 main tank. So I'm worried about it, but I know they're such a good team. They have like Carpe, who's arguably the best player in the league, DPS at least. But who knows? We're going to see GOATs stage 1, I think, in the beginning, and I'm worried about it. I think that they're going to struggle early stage 1 while there's GOATs. Unless they figure out a comp before the season starts, I think they're going to struggle on GOATs. But we'll kind of see. I know they've been practicing it forever, but we'll kind of see. I think it's a bold prediction from me, but I think they're going to struggle, especially early stage 1. And then number 4, some of you might just leave right now, but I have Dallas or Seoul. And I guess Dallas and Seoul 4 and 5. So Dallas, I think, seems just criminally underrated. I'm a big OG fan. I think he's top 3 main tank for sure. And then RCK, I've heard great things about. Effects going to be back in town. I've seen on the on the old Twitter, they said that he's going to be back tomorrow, I think, as of today when I'm recording this, which is the 24th. And then I just think their coaching's unreal. I think Jane and Arrow are going to do a real good job. I think there's another analyst on there too, but I'm forgetting. I think we could see a Fuel Redemption arc. I think they're going to be really high tier. They're going to perform really well, especially with experimenting like they have in the past, with Mickey on Brig, for example. I think they're going to be really good. It's going to be a fun team to watch. And then Seoul, the only question mark and why maybe put them below Dallas and not above would be Fisher. I know he wanted to be there. He wants to be on an all-Korean team, and that's why that drama shit happened. But we'll see. I mean, drama, sometimes they could bring it in. Who knows? I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be proven wrong, but I think that's the only question mark for me and why maybe I put Dallas above them, at least on my list. But yeah, that's Seoul and Dallas at 4 and 5. At 6, I put Vancouver, the Titans, former runaway. Very fucking good team. At least in contenders from what we saw. And who knows how they're going to be against top-level OWL competition. I can't remember what division they're in. I believe it's Atlantic. That would make sense. I'm wrong. It's Pacific. I think the Titans are going to be real strong. They're going to be very dangerous, especially early stage 1 if that GOATS is a thing, which from what we've seen it is. We'll see how they stack up, though, against OWL level competition. Could be hard for them. That's a hot take and a half I've seen on Reddit. People keep saying they're going to be bad, but we'll kind of see. Or not even bad, just mid-tier. Another one I might have a little high that people might disagree with here is I have Atlanta. And this one I purely kind of chose with my heart because I love Dufran. I've been watching Enlayer or whatever. I can't say his name very well, but I've been watching his stream and he's a nutty player. Massa, I love his stream. I know that sounds terrible. That sounds like I'm a Houston fan. That's the meme. Don't get mad at me, Houston fans. I promise. I'm just kidding. But I think Dufran will perform in OWL. I think he's going to perform well. And then also, I've just heard, like, on the NYXL AMA, they said they were the best expansion team. So I think I put him up there. It might be bold. It might be too early to say, especially with GOATs. Maybe they might struggle stage 1 early. But we'll kind of see where the meta's at and everything by the time season starts here, which is less than a month, which is crazy. It's like 2 weeks. It's pretty nice. 3 weeks. But yeah, that's number 7, Atlanta. I know it might be a little high from most people's lists. I think they were putting them way lower, like mid-tier, but I think they're going to be a higher tier team for sure. And then number 8, I have Shock. Those Korean pickups, man, they're going to be nasty, but from all accounts, it sounds like they're scrimming a mixed roster. So we'll kind of see where that's at. But I think they're going to be really, really strong. They were looking really strong towards the end of the season last season. And I think they're just going to turn out to be really good. So can't wait to see how that works. And in the number 9 slot, which some people might have put them where Atlanta was for me, or move Shock up a spot in Gladiators, which is who I have at number 9. I can't speak sometimes. I have the Gladiators at number 9. Surefour, I'm a big fan. That's part of it, but also their pickups. Decay seems disgusting. From what I've heard, he's really good, especially on Zarya GOATs. Their coach did a long interview on Tactical Crouch. I watched that. He seems pretty confident. We'll see how they play. I think it's going to be interesting. And I kind of tied them here, 9 and 10. I have the Valiant at 9 and 10 as well. Just because they consistently like performed against each other, and I think they're pretty evenly matched. But LA Valiant did lose soon, so maybe that pushes it down a slot. But I've seen KSF. He's an actual beast. He's so good. And I know that's ladder, but I think he's going to play too well. He's going to play really well. Can't wait to see how he performs. I think he's going to be a top Western DPS for sure. The next team I have on here is the Spark. I think they're going to be really good. Gushue, Crystal. I think they're going to be awesome, but who knows if Gushue's even going to be playing, I guess. I think they're Rhea and somebody else is their tank line, and we'll see if he sees playing time. I think he is. That might be a dumb hot take. I might have just read something somewhere on the internet where he wasn't going to play. He's just like a figurehead Chinese player or some shit like that, but I have no idea. Could be just completely dead wrong on that. But I think they're going to be really strong. Plus, their colors of their jerseys are dope. So, I mean, can't count that out. You got to bump them up a few power ranking slots for that, I think. But they're going to be definitely mid to high tier for sure. Next team I have on there is the Eternal. I guess Eternal and Dragons, but the Eternal I have on there. I think they'll struggle early stage 1. While hopefully we have a DPS meta after, and they pick it up a little bit. But I think early stage 1 they might struggle. But they're going to come into their own about stage 2. I'm predicting they'll be a playoff stage 2 team. And then I mean, they have a lot of players with history. Soon's on the team. I really like him. All-star player LH Cloudy, I believe, is their main tank. They also have Ben Best. That should be a pretty good team. I think. Yeah, like I said, I question their stage 1, but we'll kind of see. France in the World Cup, they've got some players from that team, and they looked really good. So we'll kind of see. I also have the Dragons in 12 or 13 slot. New roster seems really promising. I would say mid-tier. They're rebuilding. Will it lead to wins? I certainly fucking hope so. If they don't, I don't know what I'll do. I'll come up with something. Well, I'll promise you guys something. I'll do something crazy if they don't win a game. Next episode I'll have it down and it'll be before the season starts. But I'll do something crazy if they don't win a game. Outlaws I have at number 14. Like a lot of the players, I think coaching staff's pretty strong. Flame, I guess, hired on a new assistant coach in Clockwork. We'll see how that pans out. I mean, maybe he's a coaching prodigy or something, bringing TF2 strats into Overwatch. Who knows? I think he might have got the job because he's a friend, but I think he's also probably qualified. He's a pro player. That's valuable, really valuable experience, especially if you have a coaching mindset. So I'm sure he's fine. I don't think they would waste money, especially in the situation that shit's in. Oh, selling him. Oh man, you don't want to waste money in that situation, especially if they're cutting costs. Especially as with a new owner, maybe. I doubt they'd let him go. They'd probably just trust him. It's just a bunch of old motherfuckers that invest and then let teenage boys run the team or some shit. But they should be pretty good, mid-tier for sure. I think they'll just kind of end up where they were last year. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. We'll kind of see. The next one I have, and I guess it's the 15 slot. I fucked up the order already, but this is the 15 slot. I have the Charge. They really mixed roster, kind of weird, but I have a feeling with their org, I've heard they're really good. Like their ownership's really good, management's really good, and they've been boot camping like crazy. I think they're gonna see some good play out of them, good results for sure. Kib, I believe, is on that team. It's gonna be a really, really good team to watch out for. I think I might have them even a little low, but for right now, I have them at mid-tier. They might move up my list a little bit later. I could see them creeping up there into the 12-13 slot with the Dragons, but we'll see. I just have a feeling about that team. I'm not 100% sure. It's not all based in fact, but I think they're going to be really good. And then I have number 17, or I guess 16 it would be, is the Defiant, Toronto. One moment. Just seems like a weaker team overall. Neko's really good. Their support line's really good, from what I've heard, but that's theory crafting stuff. May not hold up on an OWL level. Could be just a feeling. Who knows? I think that they're going to be lower tier for sure. Mid to low, probably around that rating. Number 18, I have the Uprising. The only reason I really put that here is they don't really have a lot of strong DPS people in the strong DPS slot position. And if the meta changes into something where you're gonna have dominant DPS players like the Koreans facing off against you against some of these guys that are, I mean, they're pretty good. Color Hex and I can't remember the other guy that they picked up, but they're pretty good. Let me look really quick. I'm gonna get the roster. Oh yeah, Blase. Okay, Blase. They have fusions on a two-way color hex. Alameo's decent main support. We'll kind of see how this team works out, but I have them low tier right now. Just don't like their management and not really confident in that DPS lineup, but I can maybe look into them a little bit more. They still have Gamsu, I believe. Yes, they do. They have Axiom, Gamsu, Fusions. That's right. We'll kind of see. They might turn out to be. They might surprise us again this year, but I'm not thinking so. I think I don't think so. Not looking too good. Anyway, at the number 18 slot, I have the Washington Justice, and this might be even a little bit high for this team. Janice is good. Support line kind of dog shit from what I've heard, what I've read. If compared to others, I guess they're obviously better than everybody in the world, but just not as strong as other teams. Just overall pretty weak. Scrim leaks say it's not looking too good. From what I've read most recent, but I could be wrong now, but I've heard they're going to be just yikes. They're just kind of a lower tier, but they could surprise us maybe like the Uprising last year. So I'd be on the lookout. I think Corey's their hit scan DPS player. I really liked watching him back in the day. They have Fozix. I like Guido, Addo, Stratus. Stratus was like a tier 2 player when I first started managing, like I said, and he was pretty good. But then I have at number 20, I have the Mayhem, which isn't a big surprise. Their coaching scares me. They fired Ryder recently. I think they brought up their contenders coach, and we'll kind of see what he can do with better talent. But obviously the contenders team has good talent, but with different talent, I guess I should say. We'll see what they can do. Maybe have some wins, but it's not looking too hot. I have them pretty low tier. And then the last team, number 20, I have the Chengdu Hunters, and they are just bottom tier. And if they don't get a coach in the United States to coach live, it's going to be rough. They'll have to use Discord, coach that way, find a way around it. But it's a very strange team still. I could be dead wrong. They could be a little bit higher. Justice could probably flip them slots. But like I said, just low tier. And if they don't get a coach, hopefully they work out those visa issues. But hopefully that's the case. So that's my power rankings. Kind of nasty. I have my reasons. I mean, we'll see, though. I can't wait to start this season. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, thanks for stopping by the podcast. I don't really have much more for you today. I know it was maybe a little bit short of an episode, but if you guys can, like I said, drop by my Twitter, drop a follow. Can't wait to hang out with you guys on there. Should be a good season. Got lots of hot takes, lots of shit I'm working on. Can't wait to get you guys the interview. That should be coming out here soon. And actually, I'll spoil it now for you for those of you that stayed till the end. I've got IO Stux coming on. Can't wait to have him. Haven't talked to him in a while, so got lots of questions. We'll talk everything Uprising Academy to previewing the pro games. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Go to my Twitter, More Heroes OW. Peace out.